Okay, hello YouTube. I'm just going to play some anonymous games on Lee Chess. So we start off with a Sicilian defense. So far it's an open Sicilian, kind of going down the main line. We got a main line dragon variation. Now bishop g5, this isn't a horribly respected move. Usually just because there's problems with this knight on d4 becoming loose down the road. And also bishop b5 isn't all that great because it usually leaves a hole on the c4 square, which can become an issue later. So here already, I'm just going to classify this position as slight edge black. Oh, yuck. So he's allowing this exchange sacrifice, rook takes c3, followed by knight takes e4, which should leave black with a better position. I'm threatening here, I'm threatening to take off the dark squared bishop, which is pretty valuable. Threatening a couple other things. So now I have to debate whether I just want to snap the dark squared bishop off and just maneuver my other knight, which is just, the more I say that out loud, the more I can't see a reason why not. The other option is just to hold the knight. So I'm just going to take this way, and I'm going to play knight e5. It's a totally free outpost for this knight on e5 now, so very good position for the exchange. Probably just slight edge black at this point. The reason it's slight edge black is because this knight can't be dislodged by any means. So it's basically, black just gets kind of a free roll against these doubled pawns and against other things. Okay, so we've got this move. I'm just debating between which check, either this one or this one. I'm going to go with queen b6 check. Although it was kind of an open question. But I wanted the rook to be able to put pressure here. Also, I wanted to hold the c4 square for my knight. But, I mean, just in general, black's better here. Like, when we throw the engine on it, I'm going to throw the engine on it afterwards, just so you can see how the engine kind of lines up with my assessment. I'm a little curious, like, if the engine preferred d5 or knight g5. I mean, this is one of the things, like, you can go back at your games after you're done, and you can look at it with the engine, and don't just read the engine assessment. Just try to understand it. Try to really understand why the engine is coming to the conclusions it's coming to. I think that's really important. Okay, so we've got this. Okay, well, a6. I'm going to force the knight to move. As long as he doesn't have any discovery that works with the rook, then forcing it to move is a good thing. We don't like having pieces in our camp. And again, this is like one of those debatable moments. Again, maybe it was better for me to play something like queen c5, or it's a little unclear. Like queen c5, maybe queen a5 was a little bit better, just getting out of the line of fire. But I just decided to do it this way instead, and get my queen out of the line of fire and put direct pressure on c3 this route. Although, I mean, like, other routes were possible. And probably when I look at everything afterwards, it's going to turn out that one of these routes was clearly better. And I'll feel all kinds of silly. Okay, so let's just exchange queens and just start wrenching the c3 square. I feel like I probably let a lot of my positions slip. I probably had a bigger advantage like maybe 2 moves ago. But this still isn't terrible or anything. This has still got to be advantage black. Okay, that wasn't good though on his part. That was not good. I don't even fully understand his last move. So I'm going to play here, which at least threatens to take, and then swing the rook over to g5. So let's see if he catches that threat. And of course, if he takes, I can take back with the bishop, and I get this very nice diagonal, and I still have pressure on c3. So, I mean, in short, black is better because black is the one that can pressure in this position, and white's the one that can't. So, okay, his moves are getting goofy. Okay, so let's just rip. I'm not being terribly creative, but whatever. That's a free pawn, I'll take it. Now, just like, I guess just focus on these dark squares. At some point I need to play bishop e5. Well, first I need to not lose my rook, I guess. We'll go here. Yeah, I'm going to play bishop e5, and I'm going to meet rook f7 with rook d1 check, winning. See if he catches it. Also, just rook d1 is a threat, which is good. Okay, he countered that threat. We'll go ahead and play here. And now I'm just debating. I guess I should just play f6 and just shut it all down. I was also thinking about bishop f6, but then maybe he sacks the exchange, and maybe that exchange sack is okay. So he's almost down on the clock at this point, so the main goal at this point is just to make sure nothing gets in. So we're going to play bishop d5, threat rook c3. Yeah, with 7 seconds left, I doubt that he's going to be able to defend it, but even if he was, I'm not horribly concerned about it right now. Let's just play queen c6. Oh, well, that makes life really easy. This is silly. Why are you still here? I got 17 seconds to win this. And you got lots of squares to move your pieces to. This is mate. Okay, so we'll go to the analysis board here. So just a few things I'm curious about. Not many. Like, I knew that I was probably a little bit better right out of the opening, like after he played some of his weirder moves. So like if you want to take a look like here, we've got like knight c3, so all this is all well and good. This is all slide edge white. So yeah, bishop g5, you can see already the computer doesn't like it very much. We see a couple of games with it, but generally speaking, black does pretty well. Bishop g7, bishop b5 is already slide edge black, as mentioned. Just bishop d7, knight on b to d7. And let's see what happens next here. We've got castles kingside, so still slide edge black. And then we're going to have castles kingside, h3, rook c8, f4, and the computer just wants to play queen b6. Does it like my rook c3 though? It thought rook c3 was almost as strong. So rook c3, bc3, knight takes e4 is good. Queen d3, and okay, that's what I wanted to know. The computer does prefer d5 to my knight g5. I wonder how much of my advantage I gave back with knight g5. Not much. A little bit, but not much. But d5 was a little bit better. So that was like the main thing I was curious about. Like fg5, and now I played knight e5, that's okay, queen here. So then the next big thing that I was curious about, okay, queen c5 was better than queen b6. Again, not by a ton. We got king h1, rook c8, rook a b1, and I played a6. Rook c5 was better. I was also debating queen a5, a6. This is all still advantage black. Queen c7 is fine. Rook b3, b5, knight f3, queen c4. Is queen c4 okay? Knight c4 is a little bit better. Queen c4, still okay. Okay, yeah, it was just slide edge black the whole way. Rook c5, rook f2. What do we got? I just grabbed the stuff. Yeah, it looked like I never really had anything to worry about as far as it goes here. Queen d2, yeah, rook e5. I played rook d5. All of this is looking pretty good. I played bishop e5. Rook d1 was a little bit better. Rook b1 is fine. Queen takes a2. Rook f1. f6 shutting it down is correct. g4. Rook c5 is correct. Rook e1. So, I mean, I was right on the money for most of this. I wonder about my queen c6, because it was kind of lazy. Like, I did consider... I played rook c3, and queen c6 was correct. Huh. Who would have thunk it? Okay, king h3, yeah, and of course, yeah. Okay, so altogether, all told, pretty solid game. It's relatively easy to find good moves when your opponent gives you great squares for all your pieces right away. And what that comes back to is just the way that my opponent decided to play the opening. Like this combination of bishop g5, but especially bishop b5 check, made things incredibly easy for black. I mean, all of black's moves after bishop d7, knight on b to d7 are very, very natural because white has zero control over the light squares. So that means that like moves like knight e5 to c4 are going to be very natural. And just in general, there's not going to be any real restrictions on black conducting any of his normal Sicilian plans with these squares basically missing out of white's position. So just generally speaking, this is why, at least in an open Sicilian, we kind of frown on bishop b5, d7. I know that a lot of people do play the bishop b5 check lines, or like the Rosalimo, where you play an early bishop b5, but of course those positions are quite a bit different because those positions are closed. They still have the pawn on c5. In a closed positions, bishops aren't nearly as valuable. In an open position, giving up your light squared bishop like this for no apparent reason, because it actually helps black's development. Black develops faster. Just generally a bad idea. And as you can see, like in the Masters database, you got 2 games, and you can see what happened. We got 1 draw and 1 win for black. And in the game where black won, black was the lower rated player. So it's not advisable to make your opponent's life just this much easier. Anyways, I hope you found this video helpful. Hope you learned something new about chess. Hope you can use some of these ideas in your own games. Thank you very much for watching.